Welcome back. It's still VOP this morning. Human rights activist Dele Farotimi has vowed to face his ongoing trial over alleged defamation of senior advocate of Nigeria, Afe Babalola, in a post on X. Farotimi said he is prepared for the fight, describing himself as ready to confront principalities and powers. Farotimi was arrested weeks ago but granted 13 million naira bail by an Adetokunbo magistrate court. He was released after meeting the bail's conditions. The activist criticized those behind his arrest, claiming they lost the first round of the fight and pledged to continue his battle for justice. The case has drawn public attention with debates over free speech and defamation in Nigeria. However, Farotimi remains determined to prove his innocence, even as he became emotional, during the weekend where he dropped a video on a social media handle appreciating Nigerians for, being behind him, for speaking for him. As he was crying, he was also appreciating all Nigerians for not playing the political or the tribal or religious card, but standing behind him to make sure that democracy is what we all practice. We have with us in the studio Barrister Darlington Agamo, who is also VOP TV in-house analyst, is a political commentator, and will be joined, though virtually, from our Benin station by Barrister Abraham Oviawe, who is a public affairs analyst, a human rights activist. All right. Good morning, Barrister Abraham Oviawe. Can you hear me, Barrister Oviawe? Good morning. Right, good to have you again, Barrister Darlington. Let's start with you, a quick one now. What do you really have to
good morning for having me.
What do you have to say about this, given the fact that just a few days after Farotimi's release, is coming up to say that he's even making a vow that he's going to make sure he defends this whole thing to the latter, saying that nothing can withhold him. He's ready to fight both principalities and powers in Nigeria to make sure that freedom and justice is what is being upheld. What do you have to say about this?
Thank you, Fina. You see this particular matter, I am on all fours with Dele. I am on all fours with Dele in support. Let him go the whole hog to prove a point here. Because we are talking of cleaning up the judiciary. How else can that be done if we don't challenge certain things in court? We have been allowing so many things to go unchallenged. We have been allowing so much infamy in our judiciary. And that is why people can just do things anyhow without recourse to the law. We just talked about what is going on in Rivers State today, even when the provisions are there. So let Dele challenge this thing to the letter because he has his facts. If it is a layman that is talking, I will say, well, maybe I will be talking with circumspect. But this is a player in the legal profession, a senior lawyer for that matter. And so he wrote a book. And you say because of that. You see, this is one of the reasons why they told us that if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book because you will never read it.
But this particular book, I've made it to be the
Exactly. Because if you check the Western world, the white man, they don't play with books. Most of the development, most of the successes of the white man came from reading books. The book they read, they got ideas from it. I was thinking that when that book was released, the judiciary itself should have gone into a monastery of legal reform and say, this is our brother, this is one of our own, and he has brought out this thing. What do we do? At least it will help to clean up themselves, like that journalist in Ghana did. In Ghana judiciary. The fact is stated there. Is it true or false? Even the fact that the ordinary man in the city know about the judiciary, is it true or false? Did you not see what is going on? Even at the end of the day, listen very well, oh, all the past CJN, it is when they are leaving office that will tell you how corrupt the judiciary is. What does that tell you? What does that tell you, for God's sake? The head of the judiciary, who saw and knew what is going on, he will not talk. Until the day he's leaving office, validate his speech, they will come and tell you how corrupt the judiciary is. You will not say, so you have been sitting on corruption all this while. And somebody wrote a book to bring it up. Instead of you to say, okay, oh, what this man said is true, oh, let us reform ourselves, let us clean up ourselves. You will now gang up and start. Can you destroy the truth by ganging up?
But Barrister, I like the word you use, gang up.
I
like the word gang up.
Yes.
Because we had a guest here last week, a lawyer for that matter. There's a particular word he used. He said that, in his own opinion, that Dele overreached himself. That he may not have evidence. That he may not have evidence to prove his allegations.
Okay, fine.
Now, I understand that the legal profession is very conservative. I'm sorry to say that, but that is what it is. You know, they like to maintain the status quo. Now, Dele is fighting very powerful interests in the judiciary, in the legal practice. When I say judiciary, because you also talked about the Supreme Court justices being very corrupt. Now, Dele said yesterday that in round one of the fight, that he has won. If you put it against the fact that he is fighting very powerful interests, do you see Dele Farotimi coming out unscattered in this struggle, in this fight? Because the man said it's going to be a very long fight, a long haul, you know, to freedom for Dele Farotimi.
Remember also that the Federal High Court in Abuja have also ordered that all the proceeds from this book, you know, will be seized and all that, as you react.
All this does not matter. What matters is the facts on ground. What matters is the truth. I ask you a question here. Is it true or not that the past CJN of Nigeria, the day they were leaving office, they told the whole world that the judiciary in Nigeria is corrupt? Is it true or not?
Barrister, has Dele won round one of the fight?
But by granting him bail and all that.
And LPDC said, look, if you feel offended, you know, go to court and seek redress. And the LPDC is very conservative too, because it's made up of senior advocates of Nigeria, former justices and all of that. Does it look like Dele is ahead of the game? Is he ahead of Fatou Babalola?
Because what Babalola wanted to do, he did not succeed. He did not succeed. In law, you cannot sanction somebody who is not among you. Why would you say that they should debar Dele from practicing when Dele have already left the legal profession? So what does it with that thing stand? It cannot stand.
The lawyer also said that he has spoken to very senior lawyers and that they are all against Dele. I'm asking this question. Do you think that these people use the word gang up?
Why didn't you bring the lawyer this morning so that we argue this in out? Which lawyer?
That's not the response. We're asking you the question.
Well, anyway,
before we go on, please let's take a video. There's a video of Dele Farotimi shedding tears and saying Nigeria did not happen to him because a few people spoke up for him. Exactly. Well, let's take a listen. Let's watch this one and then we'll come back to the conversation.
It's tears of joy.
We stopped being human because we became Nigerians. They divided us and we fell for it. Because you wouldn't see me as a Yoruba man, you spoke for me. Because you wouldn't see me as a Christian, you spoke for me. Because you spoke. Because you spoke. Because you spoke. Because you spoke.
Yes.
Couldn't happen to me. Because you spoke. The only reason Nigeria couldn't happen to me is because you spoke. You spoke. That is why Nigeria couldn't happen to me. And yeah, Nigeria couldn't happen to me. Emu, Eki, Bitenro Record. You found your voices. I became you. And in our collective, you couldn't be silent.
All right, then. So there you have it. I'm going to pick out a few things that he said here. You know, he kept hammering, because you spoke for me. Nigeria couldn't happen to me. Nigeria, you know, he said that repeatedly in this very short clip. What is the implication? I mean, we've heard people say, oh, Nigeria happened to you. People travel out of the country, when they come back, something happens, oh, Nigeria happened to you. Don't you think there's a bigger concern where the rule of law is not being upheld, and people say Nigeria happened to you because your rights were trampled upon? Don't you think there's a bigger concern here?
That is it. That is why some of us are worried. Moses, you don't know how big this thing is. Moses, 2 examples will tell you how corrupt the system is. Ibori's case, for God's sake. This man was discharged and acquitted in Nigeria, but he was jailed in the UK. He pleaded guilty. What does that tell you? So you mean the judiciary here is not able to convict Ibori, but he could do that? Did you even hear what the judge said when he was reading the judgment against Ibori? Even the lawyer, oh my God, even the Ibori's lawyer was jailed with Ibori because he wanted to compromise the UK judiciary. Is that not a fact? Can it happen here? Moses, can it happen here? When somebody told the presidential petition tribunal during their final written address that, look, if this judgment does not go in favor of my client, Nigeria will burn, there will be anarchy. We saw it now. They brought out the particular paragraph where this was written. During that particular period, we all saw it. And nobody said anything. Try it in UK. Moses, try such a thing in UK and see what will happen to you, whether you practice law again. So what are you not telling me? How do you define corruption? Even the people in the system, they know that the system is corrupt. They are telling you. But they say, but there's nothing we can do. That's unfortunate. And somebody is now saying, look, let us look at this thing so that we don't destroy ourselves, because it is said that the judiciary is last hope of the common man.
Yes.
So what is going on? Can it be the last hope?
I would like your response to that. That assertion.
Can it be the hope now?
That assertion that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man, and the common man feels that Nigeria happens to him when his rights are trampled upon.
You can see that the law is now for the poor. Even the last CJ and Ariwola, he said it. That the law is not for the rich. The man said it. So what other evidence are you looking for to validate what Dele said?
All right. Well, we'll...
What are the evidence? The CJ spoke himself. I mean, the man is sitting at the helm of affairs of the judiciary.
Well, we do understand that this case is in court right now, so we'll just trample...
That's what I'm saying. We are not making reference. Not that we are... In fact, it has not even... The trial has not started. But we are looking at what Dele said, that he had won round 1. Yes, because somebody said that they should debar him from... in fact, how can you do that? As an individual, you now decide who will practice and who will not. It's not for you to do that. It is the disciplinary committee that will say, look, this man, you have violated our tenets. Not you, because you have an issue with him.
Can you tell us, briefly what someone who is a lawyer can do?
Before Barrister responds to that question, before he responds to that question, let's quickly run to Edo outstation where Comrade Roy is standing by. Comrade Roy Oriabo, good morning to you. Welcome to the conversation. Now, initially, you were saying...
Thank you for having me.
I couldn't hear what you were saying, but I do believe that the audio has been fixed. So now, first off, do you consider the bill that was perfected by Dele Farotimi as a win on his part against Nigeria? And in that video that I'm sure that you have seen, he kept saying the words, Nigeria did not happen to him. How do you relate to that statement? This is 2 in 1, really. Go ahead, comrade.
Hey, as a human being, I about Dele, I'm really bothered. Because when I take a critical look at the book, by way of summary, I found out that those without weighty allegations he had there,
do you have
and those who is not going to court.
Do you have the book?
I said with what he had, what is documented books. Yes, I've been opportune to look at the book online. You know, therefore I am scared. A system where those you allege and those who are trying, they are now a reminiscent of you cannot be a judge in your own case. But these are the persons who are not the judge in their own case. I don't know how he's going to escape it. I am talking as a Nigerian based on the reality available as of today. That this is a case that is not going to be easy. Don't be surprised after this video we just watched. They will still come out to say, based on the bail that you were granted, you were not supposed to grant any interview. We don't know how they will take that again. It is too early. It is too early for Dele to celebrate because those we are fighting, those you have alleged, these are senior, not just senior judiciary officers. These are persons over the years who have been there. I don't know how you will tell. For me, the Barrister Danity was quoting from the UK. That is nice. Is it applicable in Nigeria? The answer is no. The records are there. All the former CJ, they are living. They will cry to heaven that Nigeria judicial system was. Even those that are coming, they will make a pronouncement that we are going to reform the judicial. The day we keep on moving from bad to worse. That is my fear about Dele. Dele should have him. I will be very, very technical, and I will also be very critical about this matter. This is too early, and he is being inundated by hollow matrix of hasty conclusion to come up and start telling Nigerians that Nigeria have not happened to him. It's too early because personally, it's a man take very serious. In our obedience struggle, I was very close to him. I am scared about this matter because those who have alleged that I will continue to obey are those who are trying. When a man is not a judge in his own matter, how do you escape it? That is my fear, and I don't know how you tend to escape it. I'm very careful because those said who are there.
Okay,
the Nigerian system has a corrupt.
Very much for your very quick take. Now, I'm happy that you have read the book. In the said book, Dele made allegations, that touched on Supreme Court justices. He also said something about how a certain political judgment, was procured for a governor somewhere in northeast Nigeria, where Emmanuel Chambers was used, as an SPV, special purpose vehicle, to tidy that transaction. Now, last week, we had the ICPC, Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, Nigerian-owned government anti-corruption agency. They released what they call their 2024 Ethics and Integrity Compliance Scorecard. And in that scorecard, they mentioned that the Supreme Court of Nigeria, the Hajj Commission of Nigeria, and several other federal agencies have been flagged as high corruption risk MDAs. I'll take that again for emphasis. Have been flagged as high corruption risk MDAs. Supreme Court of Nigeria, Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Now, this thing coming from ICPC, doesn't it vindicate Dele Farotimi when he made assertions that Supreme Court justices are corrupt?
Not vindicate him because the ICPC will not be coming to court to defend their position. That is my fear. They release it as you are sitting down there, Mr. Okoro, you will agree with me that we are a corrupt nation. There was a time the former UK Prime Minister said that Nigeria, we are fantastic. He said we are fantastically corrupt. These are the issues. In anywhere you go to, we know that we are a corrupt nation. And most persons in Nigeria believe that we are a corrupt nation. And an agency he came out to release a report does not, it will not be able, they will not go to court to come and defend Dele because the power that be will not allow them. Let's wait in another weeks what will happen to the leadership of ICPC before we start celebrating them. In a society where you deliberately want to undermine the system and you tell people to go to court, you already know that the court is as weak as that of Waterleaf. What can they do? It's a main pronouncement that does not have any bite on anything. Therefore, Dele not supposed to rely on
Dele Farotimi, even when he has come up to jubilate or appreciate Nigerians for speaking behind or putting their voice behind his. Is that what your fear is, or is that what you're saying?
Early is too to come on, because if you record the bail condition, the magistrate said you is not permitted to grant any interviews at this material time. And that is my fear. Dele is a person I admire so much. In our obedient movement, I was very, and I know some of this as a Nigerian. Go and check your history in Nigeria, how judiciary over the years they have managed a position like this. And not for it to be debarred. Those who made that attempt, they will not go home and be sleepy. They will invest on it. They are looking at the loophole, and that's the reason why your sincerity is very bothered. That Dele was in a hurry. He was in a hurry. I don't know who is advising him, but I'm going to reach out to him to tell him not to make any statement for now. You have to be very calculated.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, Comrade Roy, I want to ask you, talking about the bail conditions, you know, Dele didn't grant an interview. He just made a video on his X handle. Doing that, is it against one of the bail conditions? I mean, like, is he not supposed to talk on WhatsApp, Facebook, X, Instagram, or what? He didn't grant an interview, he just made a video to thank Nigerians.
I'm talking to you as a Nigerian, based on what have happened over the years in Nigeria. We know how Nigerian judiciary, how they operate. We know how our lawyers, how they operate. That is my view. They might not, this might not be an interview, but you hear in another 24 to
studio now. Barrister Darlington, you were shaking your head.
You seem to have a lot to say.
He's here to answer. He's here to tell us, what is that one would do for the person to be debarred.
But Barrister, before you react, there is a question I want to add to it, to your reaction. If in the process of this legal action and in the process of this case, is it possible that Dele cites the ICPC report? And will it be admissible as evidence in court?
Even the CJN invalidity speech, he can bring it to the court. These are valid evidence of the corruption in the judiciary.
Barrister, while Comrade Roy was speaking, you seem to disagree with a lot of things. Go ahead, let's have your thoughts now.
I didn't believe that somebody will support what is going on.
What do you mean support?
Yeah, because he's saying the power that be, this and that.
No, he's laying his own thoughts. That certain powers that be tend to influence justice.
Who are those powers? As a lawyer, these are the powers you're supposed to challenge so that you clean up the society. That is what you are trying to do. How can you be celebrating such a thing?
No, he's not a lawyer. You are a lawyer, so you tell us.
Because I have somebody come.
He's a comrade. He's not a lawyer.
I can forgive him. Okay. You are not expected to even support them in one.
No, I didn't hear him support.
No,
maybe you heard that. What he said,
when he said the power that be, they will come against
he said. He will not. What I heard him say was that Dele seems to be too forward in talking about how Nigeria did not happen to him. He seemed to be too forward, too early in jubilating.
There is something he said about UK. He said I am wrong or something.
No, yes, you said something about
that it can't happen in Nigeria. He said he agreed with you with what happened to Boris. Good. He said that same thing cannot happen here in Nigeria.
Good. Then, what are we doing? Moses, what are we doing then? When you have all this and somebody is saying, let us correct this thing, that's why he wrote that book. And you are all ganging up against him. People are speaking from 3 months or at a time. Look at the book. Look at the message. Whether they like it or not, that book will not die. Posterity will come and read that book. Somebody will come in the judiciary that say, look, this book, it should be taught in our university. Undergraduate law students should read that book. That is the only way to clean the system, not by covering it. And now somebody said that the ICP cannot come to court to defend them. Take them to court first. Take ICP to, they have released the report. Is that not true?
Yes.
Somebody should take them to court. The same way they are taking the Dele. The man at WikiLeaks, listen very well though. The man at WikiLeaks who told us how he even helped to carry money from the same chambers to go and procure a judgment. You people do not hear that one, Abi. I was thinking they should equally sue WikiLeaks along with Dele. These are facts on the ground. Let them try WikiLeaks and see whether more skeleton will not come out of their cupboard. It's not enough to just single Dele as a scapegoat. Maybe he's a political orphan. He doesn't have a big brother in politics. Somebody who can drop a word or two on his behalf. It doesn't matter. If the people are with you, it is okay for you. How After all, the Bible said that many are called, but few are choosing.
Now, Barrister, that you've pointed out all these things, all the indices just made mention of here. Now, what do you think will be the fate of this young man, Dele Farotimi, during the course of the trial?
What will be his fate? The fate is that he's going to get victim.
But we're not preempting the cost now.
No, because you asked what will be the fate. The fate
no,
is that
let's not preempt.
no, hold on. I said from the fact and what he's telling us. From what he's telling us, are you telling me that Dele is going to be sent to jail? Is that what you want me to say here? He's going to court. And based on the evidence he had, yes. If not, listen very well, though. When this matter started, did you even remember the origin of this matter? If those people that are harassing him, if they have a point, should they have gone through that route? A civil matter. You wanted to convert it into a criminal matter so that you can make it a heavier sentence. You have forgotten that fact.
But Barrister, did they want to or they actually converted?
No, let us say they want to, because the matter have not been ruled.
Okay.
They want to. Yes, they want to. That's where they are going. Handcuff him like a criminal and armed robber.
But many people fear for Dele's life, especially lawyers that are grounded in the principles of law.
That what?
Many people fear for him.
In what way?
Yes, that he might end up, that the unthinkable might happen to him. Like,
let it happen first, then heaven will judge. Okay. Mr. Okoro, maybe I should tell you a story. You remember the Legiwa?
Yes, we do.
A very vibrant journalist, one of our brightest. You know how he died? Good. Please, those people that killed him and sent the letter bomb to him, is their life better now? Are they enjoying life? Please answer me.
but at least they are still alive.
Well, Mr. Okoro, there are certain life you live.
Okay.
You even regret being alive because of what is going on around you. I'm not joking. If you are living and you are almost a vegetable and all that, what is the essence of that life? Because, look, God has a way of rewarding every one of us. Let me tell you what happened. Somebody delivered that bomb to Delegiwa. Maybe I'm saying this for the first time here. When Mama Vasa was to be killed because of a coup against Babangida, something happened. You know, Mama Vasa was a very, is a poet, a very intelligent man. People pleaded, including his people in the literary world. They went to Babangida to free him because of his contribution and all that. But they remained adamant. So when Vasa realized that he'll actually die, something happened. Vasa started releasing reports of how Delegewa was killed, the person that delivered the bomb and all that. It was published in the Sun newspaper. I have all the copies. This man, what's it called? Osaho Onaiwo. He was the one that wrote it. In the Sun, I said I have copies. I'm not telling you stories. Vasa was telling us everything that happened because he was going. Apparently, this secret is one of the reasons why they had to make him go. But they didn't know they had released it to the public already. Everything that transpired. Now, listen very well. In that 1986, the Minister of Defense then, and Don Kadbali, they interviewed him. He said he wasn't too sure that they were right in killing Mama Vasa because the evidence against him was too weak. Did you hear that?
Yes. Yes, go ahead.
That the evidence against him was too weak. So we decided that Vasa must die at all costs. And for what reason? And you think such destruction of life, God will allow you to go like that? No. When the time comes, every one of us will pay for what we did. Either here or in the hereafter. It's not, you and I cannot even change it. It's not possible. We can't change it.
All right then.
So when you are telling me whether there is something, it doesn't matter.
Well, some people are of the opinion that it wasn't the letter bomb that killed him anyway. That's the opinion of some people because his hands were intact. I mean, if you open a letter bomb, there's the ideology that it will blow up your hands first of all.
Do you know?
But anyway, we'll come back and get your concluding thoughts, Barrister.
He was with Soyinka. Do you know who opened the letter bomb? Do you know?
No, I don't.
So what are you telling me?
Anyway, we'll come back to your concluding thoughts.
Did you see his body?
We'll come back to your concluding
Thank
thoughts.
God it is not in the day of social media. You can see the body.
Now let's go back to Edo Station, outstation now. Let's get concluding thoughts from Comrade Roy. Comrade Roy, give us your concluding thoughts as we are running out of time.
I think it's also good for me to tell by Sadality that my position is very direct. I am talking as a Nigerian based on what I've happened over the year. We were even told that at a point that the magistrate need to walk out to go and receive call. That was what we read. That is my position, that as the Nigeria is today, the ability for him to fight this fight is not going to be easy. It's going to be a Herculean task. We must tell him the truth so that he should prepare for it. Those who he have alleged, those who are now presiding the judiciary, are those who are there. A situation, he's a lawyer, he knows better. When the answer that said that you cannot be a judge in your own case. When you are a judge in your own case, what happened? That is my concern about the issue. Not that I'm supporting the system. I will never support the Nigerian system because the Nigerian system is not working as far as I'm concerned. Some of us were on the street the day Dele was arrested. Go and check record. We were on the street. Why will he be arrested? And as I was a member of that person's comrade who came out that day to say, reject his arrest. Therefore, I will continue to maintain it. The way modern Nigeria is structured today is going to be very hard for Dele to get justice in a system like this.
Thank you very much, Comrade Roy. You're absolutely out of time there. But we'll consider that your concluding thoughts on the show. And we do hope that you might have to stay with us for newspaper review. We'll work that one out. Barrister, you have about 30 seconds for your concluding thoughts. 30 seconds, Barrister.
No Nigerian should talk and reason like my friend who is talking, Roy. You must stand for what is it. Don't tell me that the way Nigeria is structured, Dele will not get. What kind of talk is that? That means you are validating what is going on. So, at what point are we going to get it right? All of us should queue up for what is good and not what is bad. Don't continue to say the way Nigeria is structured. When are we going to make it right then? If we continue that this infamy should continue like that, you cannot get justice in our court. So at what point are we going to say, no, we want this thing to be right for once? At what point?
Barrister,
please, that talk should not come in.
Let's consider this.
If you are truly Nigerian, please support what is right and not what is wrong.
All right then. Thank you very much, Barrister Darlington Akumwo. Thanks for coming on the program. We'll also say a very big thank you to Comrade Roy Oriabo for joining us from our Benin outstation. Thank you very much for joining the conversation as well. Well, that's it on the show today. Join us again at 9 o'clock, newspaper review. Chukuma and I will be here to take you through the dailies. I am Moses Humphrey.
And I'm Fina Okechukwu. Enjoy the rest of your day as we hope and look forward that 2025 will bring us good tidings.
Oh, well, they said that no nation can ever change whatever it condones. I also know that history has a long arc, and it naturally bends towards justice.
Exactly.
I am Chukuma Okoro. Bye for now.